Meet your latest deep state operative who's come out. I know we were saying, hey, there's going to be some sleepers who have been quietly kind of poking at the Trump bear, the Trump lion, if you will. And there have been some Republicans who have consistently been the never-Trumper, the people who break with the party, the people like Adam Kinzinger of Illinois. He's in the 11th district there. He's a Republican, but he's a rhino. And I had just Googled Republican Kinzinger Politico, because before today, I've never heard of this idiot. But he has apparently posted a video about how QAnon is ridiculous, and he lists some reasons why that we'll see in a minute. And then he talks about how, really, the entire QAnon movement is full of false conspiracy, how it's all negated by obvious inherent facts that if you just look with an open mind for more than a day, you'll see that Adam Kinzinger is full of shit. Check it out. His history is a little checkered. Here from June 26th of 2017, why Representative Adam Kinzinger is raising holy hell over Russian collusion. Interesting. He was deployed at the U.S.-Mexico border. He was in the National Guard. So he's not necessarily the typical idiot leftist who's, clamoring for any kind of communism. I don't think that's the case here. I think this is a guy who is paid by a group who maybe has leverage over him and who are now putting words in his mouth and marching him out in front of people to make statements that otherwise he probably wouldn't be saying. That, or he just has not done any research. So this is a day ago. He says it's time for leaders to disavow QAnon. Look at the article itself. He says it's time for the leaders to disavow QAnon. This is from Politico a day ago. This is printed on the 16th. It says the Illinois Republican called on leaders of both parties to stand up against far-right-wing conspiracies. That's far-right-wing, rather. Conspiracy theories that have circulated in recent days. And you can see, I asked my fiance, like, did this guy look like a Republican or a Democrat to you? Well, blue tie, maybe a Democrat. This guy looks like your cookie-cutter Republican if you asked a liberal movie director or a writer, what do you think a Republican looks like? They'll either tell you it's a 75-year-old, rich, old man with a big ears and long nose who cackles at the thought of black people being locked up, or it's this guy. It's someone who would look like Bradley Cooper out of The End of Limitless. Okay? That's your typical, stereotypical, archetypical Republican. And that is who you think of as the rhino deep state neocon, the people who George Bush thought would be taking over for him, like his nephew, the other Bush, that somehow no one's talking about but is still active. This is Republican Adam Kinzinger on Sunday emphasized the importance of President Donald Trump and other leaders to call out QAnon. You need to disavow QAnon, he says. This is it's a set of far-right conspiracy theories that allege the existence of a deep state against Donald Trump. The Illinois Republican, who posted a video on YouTube, and we're going to see the video, so don't go anywhere, explaining QAnon on Sunday morning, said it's time for lawmakers to definitively and emphatically denounce these theories. While QAnon theories have circulated in recent years, they have received more attention since Marjorie Taylor Greene's primary runoff win in Georgia's 14th congressional district on Tuesday. So no one wants to talk about QAnon in a positive way. It's not that they just haven't been discussed. They've received more attention now because Marjorie Taylor Greene won in Georgia, offset her incumbent, which means, hey, guess what? Now she will be the one to take on, it's not an incumbent. She won the establishment challenger for the incumbent's seat. So now she looks like she'll be primed to win that election. Greene has vocally supported QAnon theories. This goes on. And Trump endorsed her as a candidate. President went so far as to call her the future Republican star after her primary win. She is heavily favored to win in November. Good. So we're going to get a very vocal anti-child trafficking congressman. The congresswoman. That's a good thing. Why would they be smearing her as some conspiracy theorist? They say, speaking on CNN's reliable sources, so you know where this Republican, Adam Kinzinger, you know where he stands if he's willing to appear on I'm Brian Stelter. I can never remember his name until I think of Brian Stelter. So anyways, Stelter's program called Reliable Sources Kinzinger said he supported Green's primary challenger, the neurosurgeon John Cohen, in the runoff. Quote, I think up to maybe about a week ago, there wasn't a reason to denounce it because I didn't need the attention. They didn't want the attention on it. I'm not going to denounce this until I absolutely have to because I don't want to draw any more attention to the fact that there's child trafficking and that I may be involved. But now that it's made the mainstream, we have a candidate that's embracing it who has won a primary. So the president hasn't fully denounced it or denounced it at all, he said. And now it's time for leaders to come out and denounce it. He said that it's not a partisan issue, that both Democrats and Republicans, quote, have to denounce extremism in their own parties because that's where it's effective, unquote. Talk about a big wretch. Okay, so that is the Politico article. It's saying, hey, Kinzinger's like making this totally a cool issue that we should just disavow QAnon real quick, make sure that everyone knows that that's not real, so you don't have to look into that. Don't even read them, by the way. And if you were like, well, has Kinzinger read these? I mean, has he read the posts? Has he read 4,600 different drops on evidence of child trafficking and many, many other crimes? No, I don't know. Let's just see where he has appeared before. Oh, this is interesting. So check out the screen here. Multiple screenshots of him in CNN videos. Just something that you should check out because when you look for him on YouTube, and you can see here, you can see the clips that he appears in aren't often with independent media. They're not often with anyone other than CNN fake news. So you can see that there. Now let's look at the NPR article from last year. GOP Representative Adam Kinzinger on why he broke with the party to support ending a shutdown. If you recall, there was a shutdown, and in 2019, early on, you had a bunch of different people. I believe Justin Amash was one of them who broke from the Republican Party, Adam Kinzinger being another, saying, we're not going to support Trump anymore. And you know what, this whole collusion, we're going to shut, no, let's just shut it down. We have a partial shutdown, let's make it full. I'm going to break with my party and hurt people in the country because I'm going to choose their side because I think they're going to win. That's what this is, right? He's not only on CNN or NPR or other, three-letter agency outlets. He's also been on Fox. But look at how smug and arrogant Adam Kinzinger looks in that little still. Okay, so you have what's her nuts talking. What is it, Shannon Bream or someone? I forget. Whomever, someone's talking to him. You can tell me her name later. I don't really care. But look at him. He just a little like the bone structure, the symmetry, the little weaseliness. He looks like he's gonna tell you what you should know and be very arrogant about it. He looks like if Ben Shapiro wasn't Jewish to me. That's what I'm getting from him. But he says, you guys know this. The Russian bounties on American soldiers that the New York Times printed, it was fake. It was fake. It was from when Obama was president. And so they say, well, was Donald Trump made aware of this? And if he was, why didn't he say? Why didn't he say? And before the truth comes out about it, you have Kinzinger, who knew the truth, coming out saying, yeah, I'm really deeply concerned, guys. I'm like really deeply concerned. And by the way, I'm Adam Kinzinger. I know, this is devolving from factual to now editorial, but you got to understand, this is a guy who says, quote, I have seen the intelligence, and I want to be clear. This is very serious and deserves strong reaction if true. Hang on a second, fucker. I've seen the intelligence. Why is it if true? Are you just a liar? This report does not paint the whole picture. Well, tell us. Our outrage should be directed at Putin. Tell us why. You can't? That's very strange. Typically, you'd think you'd be able to. It's not like you're sworn. No, I've seen the intelligence, and I want to be clear. This needs to be reaction. We need to be reactionary if this is true. Well, now we know it's not true, right? So what were you saying if you said you saw the intelligence, Adam? You're a liar. And unfortunately for you, we live in a world where you can look back on news and see what your claims were then and what they are now. So you're a liar and a con. And now, with that set dressing, let's check out his argument for why QAnon's fake. And before you go any further, make sure you like this video. Make sure you're subscribed to this channel because we do want to keep America afloat. And a special thank you to the salty army that's out there watching and listening. Salty Cracker has been enormously helpful. Getting me over the 1,000 subscriber mark was huge. And all of the support that he has shown me and that I continue to try to show him and the Salty Army. So thank you again. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, please go Google, open a new tab and search out Salty Cracker 9 on Twitter, subscribe and follow, and then go to YouTube and look at the Salty Crackers channel, because unreal. If you haven't seen it, you need to. Now, let's watch as numbnuts Adam Kinzinger, what is it? Is it Kinzinger? Yeah, Adam Kinzinger from Illinois is going to lay out. This is the pattern, and I don't recall it verbatim, but you can just kind of hear for it. Think of the different motifs that he lays out, the different points he gives you. It's like straw man argument based on an anecdote, and then it goes false point 1, false point 2, truth slipped in, fake, 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 fake. And then other things that QAnon's never posted or talked about, but he says are also conspiracies. Therefore, we'll just call all conspiracies QAnon. That's literally this video. Anyways, check this out. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and then I will not see you because this is the end of my part. You're going to now watch this idiot talk for a few minutes.
What is QAnon? So normally I wouldn't want to give any attention to this, but I now think it's important to expose it and to speak out. Conspiracy theories are as old as history, and most of the time at some point we've bought into one or two. I remember being astounded at the evidence that the moon landing was faked for a whole day. There's nothing wrong with people who believe them. They're not crazy. They're not bad intentioned. In fact, it's usually the opposite. They believe that the truth isn't known. And if it was, life would be better for everybody. But the internet's changed everything. So in October of 2017, there was an anonymous poster on the now defunct 4chan website named Q Clearance Patriot. And he claimed to have information about the storm, which is still referenced, by the way, referring to the imminent arrest, imprisonment, and execution of thousands of known people, a sort of a holy coup of the deep state. Eventually, this poster moved over to 8chan, and it went so far as to predict a date of December 5th. And when that failed, the first generation of Q followers actually lost some members. There's a massive amount of false predictions that are important to point out here. This poster, which eventually may have become more than one, claimed that Kim Jong-un is a puppet ruler installed by the CIA, that the DNC hired MS-13 to kill staffer Seth Rich, that Chancellor Angela Merkel is actually Hitler's granddaughter, every mass shooting is a false flag operation, and that the Mueller investigation was actually a ruse where Trump pretended that he was colluding with Russia so that he could secretly hire Robert Mueller to investigate the Democrats. Many times when these don't come true, these predictions, they're dismissed as intentional misinformation in order to throw people off of the scent. So when something fails, it was always meant to fail. Now many Q drops, as they're called, are so vague that, like the predictions of a tarot card reader or a psychic hotline, they can be interpreted to fit any number of events. They try to intimidate you on Twitter to silence voices of opposition. In 2015, before anyone knew of anything called Q, one conspiracy theory called Jade Helm was making the rounds. The U.S. military was doing a training exercise in Texas focused on maneuvering through urban environments. This announcement led to a vibrant theory that this was actually desensitizing Americans to the military for the ultimate operation, to seize power and to confiscate guns. Even the governor of Texas ordered the Texas State Guard, which isn't the National Guard, by the way, to monitor, knowing full well that the theory was ridiculous. And oh yeah, recently closed Walmarts were actually being used to store munitions for Chinese troops who would eventually be coming to assist. FEMA death camps were being set up to kill conservatives, and trainloads of guillotines were en route.
None of this has been
seems
claimed
kind of
by
silly
Q
now,
ever.
But we forgot all about it. And that's what happens with all these theories. And they can be dangerous while they're in vogue.
This is a straw man
Regardless,
argument.
though, denouncing conspiracies shouldn't be the exception. They really should be the rule. In a moment where facts are only real if they confirm your previous beliefs, leaders need to lead everywhere. A momentary political avoidance of pain is not the kind of stewardship envisioned by those who wrote the Constitution and narrated what the U.S. would look like, and they understood that self-governance would be a challenge. The Founding Fathers counted on representatives to be truth tellers, no matter how difficult. Failure to do that breaks down the whole system.
But also doing that
If you know
breaks
someone
down the
who
entire
buys into
system
these
if it's
theories,
corrupt.
don't hate them. Show them that humanity can actually live together with different opinions. If you believe these theories, I'd actually encourage you to do your own research and do it with an open mind.
If they've done the
Finally,
research,
I'd
they
ask
do
every
believe
leader
it.
to put aside the avoidance of short-term pain to save our country in the long term.
They want to exist
Lastly, I
long term.
want to
They
address
do
a
not
couple of
want any
conspiracy
pain.
theories
Pain
about
is
me.
coming.
I didn't spread the Steele dossier, and I didn't create ISIS with John McCain. Since I was the first congressman to actually call for kinetic action against ISIS, that would have to be one crazy misdirection that I'm just not capable
Those
of.
who scream the loudest.
And
Huh?
this world art hanging behind me, it's just art. It's not my secret message to the Illuminati.
No, they gave the message to you, dummy. Anyways, that's it. Tell me what you think. Like the comments. Share them. Share this video. Like this video. And we'll see you later.